Just want to hear your thoughts on the game tonight and how your guys managed to get the win.
Just, I mean, a perfect game for where the struggle has been all year. When we get in a battle like this against a team like this, and, you know, we had some advantages. They had some guys out. You were coming in here desperate, but I just feel like punches or don't run away early, we get on our back foot. And tonight, I just like the way we grinded it. This team came in like they did the last time. There was a confidence about them playing against us. We struggled with them last time, and they gave it their best shot. And I think they took leads at times, but I liked that we stayed in there and we kept battling, kept fighting, and really we opened up the game off some steals. And some deflections off the defensive end. We're starting to get more contribution deeper into the bench than we did at the start of the year. And, you know, I just like the will and the want of the team over the last, 2 weeks more than I have throughout the start of the season.
What does it mean to the group when, particularly in the second half, you can get Jessup scoring on the end of whether it's steals or just rebounds or transition plays? Because there was probably 7 or 8 points he got for you off those sort of transition plays.
Well, that's what we've been the worst defensive team in the competition, and I haven't been lying about that. And when you're taking the ball out of the net the whole time, he never gets anything cheap. And tonight, you get and you lose him when the defense isn't set. It's the best opportunity for him to get shots, and there was a lot of that tonight. And then I thought, the early pick and roll in transition with the court spread, and they had to rotate. We did a good job of enabling him to get free. And that happens when we get those early on balls, or we get stops and we get out in front, or we move the ball from one side of the floor to the other. And both of those things haven't happened on a consistent basis this year. So what we did tonight really helped him. And if he gets that opportunity, you can see how dangerous he is.
In the first half there, were you getting a bit nervous when the guys just couldn't shake them free? There was sort of, you'd get a bucket, they'd get a bucket, and it was pretty close right up till half-time?
I was, to be honest with you, I knew coming in those 3 guards, Delaney, I just have, it was a big loss them not having their post guy tonight. But those other pieces and all that guy does in their stuff is need to roll out and be an offensive threat going to the front of the rim, and they had that covered as well. So I knew this was going to be a challenge tonight. I knew he'd have them fired up. So it was going to be, can we withstand it and keep moving forward, whether we were 5 down or 5 up. And again, that's been a weakness of our team. And tonight we talked about it, during the course. I mean, you look at the Adelaide game, we're up 15. They come back and tie it in the third quarter. We were losing those games. And now the last 2 games, we've been in that situation, and it hasn't stopped us. We've just kept our head up and kept moving forward. And I think that's a good sign.
Heard you sort of say on the coverage afterwards, and a few other people around the camp have sort of hinted that looking forward to getting on the road and thinking that the road will be beneficial for you guys. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just think it was, I remember last year being on the road for months before the season started, and the team it can get a point where you're it's too long, but we went to Albury-Wodonga, then we went to Cairns, and then we started our season. And I remember Cairns at the start of the year was kind of in our situation, a regional team. They play their first 7 or 8 games at home, and it was not good for them. And I was worried when the season started, to be truthful with you. I'd rather, if I had a choice, and I had one, I'd rather play the first 7 on the road and try to sneak a few, get some momentum, and then come back at home. And I just thought, playing all those games at home, one after another, it just got ho-hum. and you're always going back to your apartment. You're always going back to your wife or your girlfriend. Where this, you eat together. You got to pull together because everything's against you, and there's some positive to that. And I thought, well, paint that picture for what's coming ahead, because we haven't had any of it, and it might be a good thing for this young team.
Yeah, same question to you, AJ, just from that player's perspective as well. We all know how tough the stretch was on the road last year, but I guess do you get, I guess a bit stale when it's the same environment, same thing sort of day after day after day?
Yeah, I think what Gorge said really applies. That it's hard being on the road, and it gets to a point where it's really tough, but it's the same at home. It was kind of getting a bit repetitive. It's kind of the first time we've ever done that, have that like continued home stretch. Usually you break it up with road trips. So yeah, this gives us an opportunity to kind of live in each other's pockets for a little bit, spend some time together, and really try and bond and build better relationships going towards the finals, because we know we're going to have to be able to win on the road if we want to win the finals.
Just last one for me, back to Gorge. Got Phoenix coming up next. A lot of talk about this team hasn't knocked off one of the big dogs yet, or those teams in that four. Is that something that you think is important and something you don't want to leave sort of down to the back end of the season, needing to pull those games off those big teams, for the first time when the whips are cracking there?
Well, we put ourselves in a position, if we don't get a few of these, we're not going to make the playoffs. You look at that four, you look at Sydney, you look at Perth, you look at Melbourne, you look at Phoenix. It's, man, if where we are and where we sit now, if we don't win any of those games, we're not making the playoffs. So, and we got to do it on the road. So, yeah, we understand the challenge. We're getting better, and Phoenix knows what's at stake as well. So it makes for a great competition and a great season. There's no easy games, and where we are, our backs are against the wall the rest of the way. We can't afford to dump anything, and we've got to beat a few of these good teams to get there.
Thanks, Phil.
All right. We'll get there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, AJ.